I can't believe it. It's episode 12 of the Comic Book Crowd.
Yeah.
Here. Woo! This is our 1-year anniversary. Uno. And
What do we get for
unfortunately,
our
2 of
1
the
year,
crowd
Joe?
members couldn't be here today, but taking up the slack for 2 is Don, Solly Two Kings. How you doing, Don? Welcome.
I am well. I am honored to be here on the 1st year anniversary of Anachronic.
Now, Ron, we invited you because we expected a gift for our 1st anniversary of this show. So we'll just let you hold on to it until the end of the show. How's that? Okay. All right.
Thanks for having me.
We're really happy you're here, and hopefully you'll come back. We've got a couple of other guys here. Below me, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, Joe. This is Matt Woods right here. At least that's my name. That's what they tell me. But I'm super stoked to be here. A 12-month anniversary or a 1 year. I don't know how you do anniversaries, but what an absolute fabulous group of people here. You know, and we're missing 2 really great people, Wayne Squirrel Madness, and also the great Alan.
Yes.
Climbing Comics Master Blaster. Do it.
He's probably climbing mountains.
Yes, but what a great group. What a great honor to go for an entire year. You know, the people in the chat are absolutely fabulous month after month, but this is a wonderful show. And Joe, or everyone in the show, guys, Joe is the mastermind behind this. Joe is the ringleader that got everybody together and made this, you know, exciting show happen every single month. So guys, definitely give him the applause he deserves. I think I heard Trevor clapping across the internet. Thanks, Trevor.
We'll get to the chat in a second. Blasters.
Yeah, 1 year.
We love you guys.
You want to say something?
Joe, what do we get for 1 year? Is it jewelry? Diamonds?
You got one of these.
We get
I got it. Thanks.
You get a mug with your face on it.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Matt Woods.
Matt
Cheers.
Woods, everybody.
Myself.
Myself.
Everybody have a drink.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was worthwhile to put our faces on a mug. So they're mug shot. Sorry, they just came to me, you know. Can't help
That was
myself.
bad, bro. That was bad.
It was bad.
I love it.
It's really great to have Donald on for our anniversary
terrific.
show. I'm super excited. Thanks for coming on.
Man, it
And
is
I
good
wanted to
be
do
here.
a shout out. Now, help me remember, over this year, we've had Doug Bratton on the show, Pretty Fly.
Right.
Am I missing somebody?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
If we are, I'm sorry, but it's really cool that they've been on. I do, before we get going, I have a little beef with Joe. Joe's been cheating on us. He couldn't last a whole year
Huh?
before he started getting a DC crew together
You know?
Oh, yeah.
with a better intro.
Two-timer.
That intro was crazy good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, the coffee mug makes up for it, but I was going to. All right, and I have a pretty awesome pillow. So
You do. You do. There are 2 more DC Watch episodes in the works. Hopefully, the second part of the Black Adam review, the one with the spoilers in it, should be out in a couple of days. And we have another one that we have completed, but we're going to do some a couple of more recordings, I think, tomorrow night to kind of put it together. But the magic there is done by Pretty Fly. He's the author. Now, I have to say, Bruno did a pretty good job on that first one too, as did the action figures. But so, you know, Pretty Fly just says, I'd like you to do something like this. And then suddenly Bruno comes up with this like tremendous stuff to do. But wait until you see the next episode and what we come up with for some really interesting B-roll on that thing. But anyway, so hopefully that'll come up in a few weeks, I think. Anyway, so we're here. let's take a look and see who else is here from the on the chat. So we do have, yeah, there's Trev, my man. He's doing well. John's Comic with Kids. Yes, how are you? Great to see you here. We got Steve White, Paul, Psychedelic Comics. I always think about my time in college in the 60s when I see that name, Paul. You know? All right. So we saw Steve. And here he is, my DC brother.
Chris
Our first
Bigger.
episode dedicated to Chris Bigger. Turbo Man Todd. Turbo Man, good to see you here. Fantastic.
Turbo Man.
Yes. There he is. The one.
Great
The
Doug
only.
Bratton.
Doug Bratton. Yes. Yes.
We're not worthy.
We are not. That's for sure. And the other Bratton, my DC bro on DC Watch, Dave.
The
How are you,
Bratton
Dave?
brothers. Okay, we can stop the show now.
Yeah, they're wrong.
Brian, LCS.
Brian.
Don't forget to vote. The comic book awards, comic community awards. They're still
Excellent.
open for
Yes.
another couple of weeks, I think. And this show is one of the nominated shows.
Of
So
course.
get your
What an
out
honor.
there and vote.
Of course.
Let's see if we're missing somebody. Did we get anybody else? What's that? I think we might have gotten everybody that's here, at least to begin with, I think.
Ooh, did we
Oh.
get Flowers Comics?
No, where is he? Did I miss him?
Milt Miller. He's
Milt.
another Pittsburgh guy.
Oh,
I know.
yep,
This
yep.
Pittsburgh people have
Awesome.
taken over.
Black and gold.
Oh,
in the house.
Pittsburgh makes the best people.
I got
Of
Phil.
course. Of course.
Philtastic. How you doing? Had a great time on his 7-minute show, whatever. That was great.
You did great in the 7 minutes in heaven.
Well, thanks for recommending me to him too. That was a lot of fun. And I don't see Milt. Is he here? I must have missed him. Milt, sorry, but we know you're here. We love you. Okay.
I see
All right.
you, Milt.
So bear with me. This is our 1-year anniversary, and I got a couple of things that I'm going to do. The first thing I want to do is bring up a video, and we'll take a look and see what this video is all about. Hold on. Hello, guys and gals. I'm Joe, and welcome to Anachronic Comics. So today we have what I hope is going to be the first of a multitude of shows with the comic crowd. This is a live stream we're going to do, I guess, guys, once a month, we're thinking right now. And so I'm going to just let the comic crowd introduce themselves.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm Alan, aka Climbing Comics. So I met Joe about probably a year and a half ago when I first started getting back into this whole comic thing. And mainly it's from the Reggie Collects live stream shows. This guy came into the chats, dropped a bunch of knowledge specifically about DC. And I was like, I need to talk to this guy.
Okay.
So definitely glad to be here. Thank you for letting me be part of this comic crowd.
Oh, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Let's go to the other guy that's been on, I think, every one of my live streams, all 3 of them.
Hey, YouTube, it's Matt here. And just like Alan said, I met these other great people through the Reggie Collects YouTube channel. He does a lot of live streams, and we do a lot of chatting on those streams. And like Alan said, about a year and a half, 2 years, maybe a little bit more than 2 years now, I've been talking to, these guys. I'm really excited for this show, Joe. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is a lot of great people in the comic book community getting a chance to interact and talk about comics like we like to.
Yeah, hi everyone. Wayne here, aka Squirrel Man is Comics. Again, met pretty much everyone here through Reggie Collects. I came back to the hobby about 2.5, 3 years ago after a layoff of 25 plus years. I would love to meet all you guys face to face at some point. And just happy to be part of this group. So thank you so much for having me.
I forgot about that guy.
Blaster.
Hey,
Now his better
everybody.
half.
Hey, Steve, aka Master Blaster. I am just so pumped to be hanging out with you guys, and we're going to do this once a month. You guys mean so much to me, and I'm really pumped for this show. Man, look at my hairdo back then.
And I just want to say something. I was better looking back then than I am now, I think. But that's maybe
I'm a
because it
year
was the first.
older. Holy
Maybe because it was the
crap.
first show.
I think
you know.
I'm looking better now.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Let's go back to our usual thing here. Okay. So that was I spliced some things together because it actually went out for about 5 or 6 minutes, and I thought that was a little bit too much. Yeah. In terms, yeah, flashbacks. Yeah, had enough of that in college. I didn't want any more now. But anyway,
Oh, you're
so
telling on yourself.
I know. Here's Mark. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Hey,
So
Mark.
anyway, what I do have is I have a giveaway that we're going to do maybe about halfway through the show after we're finished with She-Hulk maybe, and we get on to the DC, or the DC, I'm sorry, I got DC in my mind, the Disney MCU shows that we like the best and don't like the best. So part of the giveaway is going to be this little bookmark of She-Hulk because it's a She-Hulk show. But no, so you might have seen that some of us have, for our 1-year anniversary, I gave everybody that was part of the original show their own mug with our mugs on it. So it's a
I don't
mug.
have one. I'm sorry.
Well, you weren't part of the original show then. But you can possibly win this, Don. I do have another one that I'm going to give away, but it doesn't have our faces on it because those are just one of a kind. So this one does say Anachronic Comics on it, and it has our logo at the top. So
Wait, is that a variant of a coffee mug?
it's a
Wow.
that was our most watched show too, the variant covered things. So if you are interested, we're going to do a giveaway about maybe 20-25 minutes from now on the show. So stick around, tell your friends to tune in, and don't leave right after that because we have some pretty good stuff after that. So anyway, so we have right now, let me see if I can get it up here. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So our first part is going to be She-Hulk. Now, there've been a lot of reviews of She-Hulk on there, but the big thing is now it's been over for about a week or so. And I don't know, I watched every episode and I thought we'd just spend a few minutes giving our impressions of it. A lot of people thought that I would really like it because it was quote unquote a lawyer show. But anyway, so does anybody want to start off with just some impressions, some comments of She-Hulk before we get into the nitty gritty of the best and worst Disney Plus MCU shows?
Ooh. Can I take this one?
Here we go.
All right. So, Master Blaster, here we go. Get prepared, people. It's coming. All right. Honestly,
I told you I didn't want him to start. It's going to be like a half an hour now.
Oh no, it's gonna be about 45, 50 minutes, just me talking. Okay, so batten down the hatches. Here it comes. Okay, the She-Hulk show. I did not hate it. There were moments that I absolutely laughed. There were moments that I absolutely enjoyed. My wife and I would watch it together, and it was a good show for somebody that is not a comic book, complete nerd like we are. Okay, I'm sorry, we're all good people, but we are geeks and nerds, and I own it. Okay,
Of course.
Thank you, Dawn. But it was a fun show. Okay, the little bit of the twerking and all that some people were so upset about. Oh, come on, people, get a life. It's 2022. It's just fun. All right, let's have some fun. Not everything has to be super serious. Now, the guy ahead of me, if you were not watching part of his DC show, you need to watch it because he's they talk so much about it and they have so much knowledge. And I'm not a DC fan like Joe, but I love DC. I mean, I grew up, Superman was the bomb, okay? When I was a kid, that was the only superhero movie that I even knew about. Loved it. I couldn't wait for Superman 2 to come out, Superman 3 to come out. Yeah, Superman 3 wasn't that great, but I was excited for it, okay? I love Superman. I love Batman. Batman 1989 was an absolute fabulous movie. Tim Burton did a great job. Love DC. But the reason I'm even talking about it, the problem with the DCEU movies, they're boring. They take themselves way too serious. I just got done watching The Batman. It was last weekend. I wanted to really enjoy it. I was like, man, these guys are just too intense. Like, there's no levity. There's nothing in it whatsoever. And I don't know if you should have levity in a crime drama like Batman, but it was just too serious. The MCU, it can allow itself to be quirky. It can allow itself to be fun. I like that about that. But here, I'm going to do a hard stop, okay? There's a problem with She-Hulk. That's all it was. It never got serious. It never got to where you were excited for a big fight scene, or you knew who the bad guys were. The last episode. Now I'm going to be honest. It did. I actually stopped. I looked at my wife. I said, "There's just too much chaos going on in this fight scene at the end." And then I don't want to give a spoiler away, but they stop the fight scene and the entire middle of it, and then they just get goofy. And I just felt like they needed a little bit of the DCEU. They needed a little bit of the seriousness that DC puts in there. And I felt like the writing, all they wanted to do was have fun and be like the edgy, quirky, fun part of the MCU. But they missed the part of the MCU that is successful. And that is the intrigue. That is the drama. That is the fight between good and bad. And they missed it with a big old F. Because I'm a school teacher. I'm giving them an F on it. A for effort, but you need a D to pass.
Wow. Man,
Well,
you rope-a-doped
Are we
us,
all good?
Matt.
I certainly have some comments on that, but I'll let other people go first. Go ahead. Anybody else want to comment
I think
on
we
what?
got rope-a-doped. I guess Matt, first, I wasn't expecting the positivity at first and then an F at the end. I definitely got rope-a-doped. Well, you said F. I'm going to say I loved it. And then Madam can go because I know what she's going to say. And we'll just sandwich me between all that goodness. But
You loved it? Did you say you loved it?
I did. I loved it. I definitely loved the very last episode.
Oh,
Yes. I loved it.
Excuse me.
I loved it. I was
Sorry, I was vomiting a little
that
bit
was
in
my
mouth,
favorite.
Okay? I'm going to need a moment.
Should I just drop the mic now and go? I mean, geez.
we're just giving you a hard time, Steve. Go
So
ahead.
we're going to talk about the other shows, all right? So I
Right.
think that there's a difference between an established character that's coming from the big screen and coming to a show versus rolling out a new character with their own show and trying to carve out a niche or whatever. And I felt like I was all cheering for Matt when he started. I agree that it's like the Best in Show or Modern Family, like talking to the camera and all this stuff. I liked it. It is concerning that my children did not like the show and they stopped watching it because normally they're excitable and easy to please. So that's red flags for me, but I had fun with it. And as I saw what the next episode's title was going to be, I'd get nervous and then I would watch it and I would want to see more. And I ended up really liking the character in the She-Hulk form and in not She-Hulk form. So I don't know how to put it into words, but I like it being just embracing everything that surrounds us. It was trying to pull it all in and make fun of itself. And it was not complex in its delivery, but I still had fun with it. So I'm going to turn it over to Madam and we'll go from there.
I really did not like She-Hulk. It was really, I had to force myself to watch each episode. I don't like the kitschy, like talk to the camera thing. It kind of throws you out of like what you're trying to get into, I think. And I think Scarlett, one of our children, said like it was kind of Nickelodeon. She didn't even like it. And like they would just waste whole episodes on like, is it She-Hulk's name or not? I mean, come on.
Scarlett said it was tacky
So
and cringy vibes is the quote.
Wow.
Very good. Very good.
Anyway. So Madam didn't like it. I
Cringy.
loved it. Donald, I think you're up.
Okay. I'm going to. Okay, here's what I'm going to say first. Kudos to all those people who put the work into the show, because the cast, the crew, all those people who pulled the show together, I want to give them props. I have a theater background, so I kind of understand what goes into it. I think that Tatiana Maslany, who played Jennifer Walters / She-Hulk, I think she did pretty good. I think the CG of her, some people were complaining about the CG. I personally liked it. I thought it was okay. I didn't have any problem with it whatsoever. And now we're going to go into the fire. One of the things that I look for in any story take me on a journey. Take me on a journey no matter what it is. If I can go along with that journey and kind of enjoy myself, I'm good. She-Hulk did not do that for me at all. It was too disjointed. It was too campy. And I understand that, of course, She-Hulk has always been kind of that character in comics. You know, she kind of does that, which is okay in the comics, but it did not translate well as a show.
They call that the fourth wall, right? She's breaking the fourth wall.
The thing is, she broke the fourth wall, but as Madam Blaster said, it didn't work. It worked well for Deadpool. He pulled it off flawlessly. And that is just, when you have something established like that and then you bring it into something like She-Hulk, it does not work as well. It just did not work as well. Now, me and my daughter, we also watched it. I was telling everybody here that me and my daughter, we've watched all of the Marvel movies together from jump. She didn't like it either. She did not like it either. And again, that is also red flag. Now, on the opposite side of that, she didn't. I don't know if you did a review of Miss Marvel. I don't know if has anybody done that yet. Okay, she walked out of Miss Marvel too, and after the first episode, she was done. I'm like,
Don, we should have had her on the show with you.
I know. But and the first episode from Miss Marvel, I felt the same way. I'm like, this is not good. However, as each episode progressed, then it got better and better and better. And it brought in so many elements that while I did not necessarily like the lead character, all the other cast, I absolutely loved. I thought they brought the show together at the end. And I did not get that in She-Hulk whatsoever. Even if you have the cameo of you-know-who, I think we all know it's Daredevil.
What?
Yeah, there's going to be spoilers during this thing. So if you didn't watch it, you want to watch it.
Well,
Yeah.
it was in the commercials. So,
Right.
Well, everyone knows it's necessarily a spoiler. But the thing is, even with his inclusion in that, I was like, eh. And also to kind of foreshadow, this makes me worried about the Daredevil series that's coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me worried because I'm like, first of all, you have 3 established. You want to talk about the favorite episodes? I'm going to tell you right now, it's Daredevil. It is Daredevil. All 3 seasons of those were just absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
Don, if that was part of the Disney stuff, that would have been my number one, but it's not.
That would have been it. But now you have kind of brought him into this MCU with this, and that's what makes me worried about where they're going with the Defender, the Defender series. Because if it's anything like what they have established right now, I'm worried. So that's my opinion.
Can I say, saying that I loved the She-Hulk show, I did not like the way Daredevil was. That part I was like, ugh. Like,
Yeah.
I agree. That now I'm scared. Now you have scared me.
I mean,
Well,
the
it's
thing,
true.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, if you have, I mean, the writers. Okay, let's give the writers. There you go. Let's give the writers their due. They are all. I think that most of the writers came from sitcom backgrounds, which is okay. That's fine. But at the same time, if you cannot necessarily spin the sitcom aspect and not have not have a cohesive story throughout the whole episodes, when you have established cohesive stories in all the previous TV shows.
Well, I have to say, I brought this up, and Don, you had I actually have written out all the stuff I don't like about this right here. But one thing that really I didn't like, and I was looking forward to it so much, so it was like the best thing, I think, or it could have been the best thing in the show, ended up giving me the same worries that you pronounced, Don, was Daredevil. I mean, seeing him perform was great, but I mean, I have to say, I haven't read every Daredevil thing and so forth. I mean, I have some from the 60s and I've read it on and off here and there, but this costume sucks. I mean, it sucks.
It does. Why does it go backwards to his original costume? It just,
at least it seemed to be they want to do the yellow one or something like it. I don't know. Maybe
that was his
more about it than I do.
costume. The red, the red and the yellow back when he was first introduced.
Yeah, and you may not like his first one, but do something like that, or I guess they wanted to keep the red one for when he comes back, but that's fine. But when I saw this and I saw how they treated him, even though someone says he matches Mark Waid's run on Daredevil, which I don't know, like his demeanor and everything like that. But I'll tell you something. To me, it was like you ruined what possibly was the best part of the show, or potentially the best part of the show anyway. So that's one thing that I wanted to bring up. Give me a chance here. There's another thing.
There it is, right there.
Go ahead.
Right there.
See, that's the original uniform.
Yep.
I didn't hate the fact that they used that uniform in the first appearance of the MCU. I didn't hate it, but it was an ugly uniform, which the real uniform that they made back in the 60s, yeah, it wasn't very good either, okay? So, the Daredevil thing, I just want to forget it happened, and I hope they retcon it somehow. Just
all right. Well, here's the second thing that I thought was, I mean, and Tatiana, that actress, I think she did a good job for what she had, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But here's one thing that I thought, and I don't know if people agree with me on this, but they talked about the CG, what is it? The CG. The CGI on her, right? I'm of the opinion that if I was Tatiana, I would say, you made She-Hulk look more attractive than I look in real life. I think she looks better than the real person. That's my impression. So I'm looking at it and I'm saying, what?
Joe,
I gotta agree, Joe. I agree with you.
You just reached in and grabbed your inner Captain Kirk and pulled him out of you.
Well,
Joe likes green women.
It's not the green. Look at her face. Look at her
Captain
face.
Kirk loved the green
I like
too,
the muscles.
Okay?
I like the muscles, but look at the face. Look. And she's not unattractive. I'm not saying she's unattractive, but she looks much better here than here. What the heck?
Well, I think that was intentional, because to draw the difference of her turmoil being who she is as Jennifer Walters, and She-Hulk, who is this glorious, glamorous personification of who she wanted always to be. I think that was intentional.
Well,
I'm just praying that the actual actress never watches this live stream. That poor woman.
Well, I'm just saying the reality. I got more here. Wait a minute. I got more. Give me another
I
chance.
love Captain Kirk.
But
By
it's got
the
more
way. He was the
criticism.
I
best
knew
Cap.
Matt was going to bring a comic book. I only brought this because I knew Matt would display a comic book, but they look different, Joe, on the cover here
Yeah.
for historical documentation.
Well, I have that comic book as well. That's one that I do.
great
I wasn't
grade.
flexing. I'm
Last
just having fun with old Matt Woods there.
Right. So, I mean, I just want to do this for you. You tell me. This is just a little bit more proof on this for me because I think this is really significant. So, I mean, just look at that. Look at that. Look. Come on. Even
Would
here,
you
where
just
she,
look at that?
the sorrowful face. Look at that.
Joe,
Come
I think your voice got an octave higher.
All right. I'm done with that.
Joe loves
Bill, Mrs. Chronic's going to go through your phone and see all these screenshots, and you're going to have some explaining to do.
That was Gal Gadot.
I think the quote of the night is Joe loves green women. I think that's the quote of the.
Okay,
Joe,
so
when are you going to do your Instagram 7 days of She-Hulk? Okay, that's what I'm waiting to see.
Okay, I will do that. Hold on a minute. Okay, so here's a couple of things I didn't like. Okay, it's supposed to be a legal sitcom, right? Okay, and there really wasn't much there. I think for that, there was some of it. It was okay, but I thought the whole point was, at least in the beginning when I started watching it, that it was like not so much her inner turmoil, which that's Don, you're right. Throughout, it seemed to be more about her and her issues, but really, how do you become She-Hulk? But she kind of embraced that pretty quickly, it seems to me. So I thought that was going to be the storyline going through that, but it ended up not really being the storyline. The other thing was, yeah, right. It was basically an episode, and that's part of the disjointed. I forget. I think it was. I don't know if it was you, Matt, or Don. Somebody said that it was kind of disjointed in that way. It seemed like it kept going down certain lines, and then suddenly it stopped and did something else. And incidentally, for all the young people who didn't like it, I think the audience score the last time I looked was something like 35% on that. So there's a lot of people who didn't like it. We talked about Matt Murdock already and kind of messing it up. I mean, it kind of, I was really hopeful when they said it was going to be kind of a legal comedy that it might be something like the comedies in the 60s. At the end, I have more to say about the last episode, but that last episode, when she breaks the fourth wall, goes to the studio and goes in to talk to the writers, some of those people were the actual writers.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think 3 or 4 of them were actual writers.
They wanted
when I saw that, I thought, wow, this could be good, because being an old guy, I remember going back to the Dick Van Dyke Show. The Dick Van Dyke Show was about, Dick Van Dyke, right? And he was supposedly a star of a TV show. Rather, he was one of the writers of a star of a TV show with 2 other writers. And they had a lot of this was a half-hour show that a lot that occurred in the writing room. And between Dick Van Dyke, Anne Marie, and I forget what the other guy's name was, they were like hilarious. Those were some of the best parts of the show. The give and take, the talking to the star when they come in and stuff like that. This just fell on its face to me. I'm there waiting for some laughs and stuff, and like, yeah, okay. So to me, I thought that was an opportunity that was wasted completely. And then going back to that last show, talk about disjointed. You're building up to, you're hopefully building up to like, the big fight or something like that, right? And I talk about this a little bit in DC Watch for guys who want to see the next episode coming up. But anyway, that last episode, even in movies and so forth, like the third act, generally it is, when you take a look at some of these things, especially movies, there is a first act, a second act, and a third act. The first act is introduction. The second act, people get to know each other. Stuff is going on. The third act, all hell breaks loose, So I'm waiting now. So now you have Hulk King, right? Supposedly, Hulk King can become, I think that's who it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
He becomes the Hulk. And she goes in there, changes the whole thing, and the story ends. So now you're saying, okay, one of the people that dated her, that was the online person or whatever, influencer or whatever else, was really looking to get after her, steals her blood, whatever else, becomes the Hulk. So you're thinking, okay, that's the whole storyline now, because you can go back and you can see some things that happened, and they explained a few things. So suddenly you have the Hulk King there, and you're waiting for the big fight and all that. And what happens? You get a little bit of a fight between Abomination and the Hulk, right? And then it's gone. It's like the whole show going all the way to the end result of that third act, and it never happened. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, what the? I'm saying,
Yep.
And then the Hulk shows up at the end with Scar, and I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, what happened to Planet Hulk?
Yep.
I want to see that.
Man.
That was a great series of the Hulk. I have it, and I loved it.
That is
You know?
one of the best
One of the
Marvel
best
stories ever told.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And now I got the end of it, kind of, because it didn't really happen the way in the movies, I don't think, but rather in the comic book, I don't think. But, and I'm saying, what? It was like Thor Ragnarok, you know? And so I'm sitting, where it's Hulk, shows up there, and I'm saying, well, yeah, okay, how did he get there? That's what I didn't like about that. So this, I'm saying to myself, what's going on?
Yep.
I mean, I have so many more things. I mean, that I didn't like about this thing. But that thing, Titania, I mean, I think that's her name, right? She was not that bad, but when she got into the whole thing about stealing the identity and all that, I thought that was stupid. I would have liked to see a little bit more of the fight between them and so forth.
Titania is a beast in the comic. She is an absolute beast, and what they made her a social media, I was like, this is awful. I'm not saying that you have to necessarily do everything like the comics, but that was just bad. That was awful.
Look, I have more that I could say, but I know we have to go on to some other stuff, and Mike and Matt Woods is chomping at the bit. But let me just complete my thing by saying that I did watch it. Those are things I didn't like, and I'm not saying it was awful, because there were good things that happened, but it could have been so much better than it was, And I did see an interview with one of the writers, this woman, and she was crowing that she said, when we wrote all of this, we knew that all these people online were going to criticize us for these things, and boy, we knew they were going to do that. And she was like proud about that. I'm sitting there looking at the video saying, so why did you do it? So why did you do it? She was like, I don't care about you, the viewer. This is the way I saw her. And now when I look back, I'm saying this is exactly what happened. I don't care about you, the viewer. I care about telling my story about, women, not having rage every day because of social injustices and things like that. And then having, a daredevil, shack up with her. And I telling my story, and I knew you guys wouldn't like it, but I don't care about you. That's the way I took it. I was insulted by that interview. I was insulted. Okay, Matt,
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, Joe, because I absolutely feel that the writers, they did spend some time and they read Sensational She-Hulk, because there was elements of that comic book in the show. But I think that was their only experience of ever reading any comic book ever. And they ran with it. And like you said, they told a story that was their own story, but it had nothing to do with the comic books, which was the problem. If you guys remember Batman Forever and what was the last Batman where Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Carrey was in it? The people that wrote the script, they just wrote a script that had nothing to do with the actual comic books. They just took the synopses of the characters, put them in a movie, but they were just so wacky and didn't make sense. That's what I feel these writers did. They didn't know the story medium at all.
Listen, I remember.
Go ahead, Master Blaster.
I just want to say, I hearken back to Dallas when Bobby Ewing was in the shower after his whole, and I was taken back to my glory time as a child. I don't know why I was watching Dallas as a kid, but so
Everybody
I
watched
enjoyed
Dallas.
the show.
We watched it every
It
day.
came on
watched it.
after, yeah.
No, but I mean that's the whole point. Like, oh, it was just a dream. This whole season was a dream. So I had fun with it, and I must be part of the 35%.
Well, let me just say to Dave's statement here. You like what you like, right? I mean, so that's fine. And I'm not saying it was awful. Like I said, there was a lot of good things about it, but it disappointed me, I guess is the best way I can put it. All right. I think that was kind of my end result for this thing.
If I could add what
Sure.
you said, Joe, about the last episode, about the big fight. Again, my daughter said something poignant. She said that she kind of liked what they did there to break the fourth wall and to depart away from the, because it was saying pretty much what the last episode was saying is that always tends to happen in Marvel movies. And I was like, I listened. I was like, you're right, but it still could have ended a lot differently than how they just dropped the ball and ended it right there. I mean, it was. I understood what she was saying. I understood what the creators were saying at that point.
Yeah.
But that was not an ending. It still wasn't necessarily an ending. Now, what they did in the beginning of the show with the throwback of the old Hulk introduction, I thought that was absolutely brilliant. That was absolutely. I loved that part. I was like, that's good. That's good.
And don't even get me on Kevin.
Yeah.
The AI. You know?
Right. I'm like, okay.
I mean, I could have written that. That wasn't a big deal. Matt, you want to end it up for us before we get to the what we like best and least?
Well, I think I think we all pretty much agree. There were good elements to the show. It was not a complete disaster, but it failed in its storytelling on multiple different levels. So I kind of think, do we all pretty much have that consensus? There was good parts, but it just failed on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm towards the bottom of that, but yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
If it was a movie,
Madam Blaster had a great reaction to that. That's all I have to say.
I'm with Madam Blaster on that. I'm just like,
yeah. But if it was a movie, I would absolutely not go see the second movie. I wouldn't go see the sequel.
No.
I like Steve's statement.
Nice.
Very nice, Steve.
What's this? It's a 2 out of 10 show. Okay. All right. So now,
Oh, hey, Joe, you know, Pretty Fly is in the building.
I saw him. Yeah, he's been already saying things about me before. Pound for pound, CW made better shows than Disney Plus. All right.
I heard there was a fly in the area. I'm trying to swat it away.
Of course.
Hey, Pretty's got his own show. Pretty's got his own show.
Yeah, well, he's got work to do. Get out the two shows that we've got in the can. All right, so here we are. So in the last 20 or 25 minutes, maybe we'll have some discussion, maybe not. I don't know. We've got here the 8 shows that have been MCU shows that have been on Disney Plus as part of Phase 4. All right. I have a general statement about that, but I'm not going to say anything until we're done with it. So I thought what we'd do is we go down and just pick the one that we like the best and the one that we like the least. And then we can have a little bit of a discussion about it. All right. I was thinking of having people send it to me privately, and I'd put it on there first, but I thought this might be a better way of doing it.
This is great.
So Don, you're first, but you don't have to go first. It's, somebody else could go first if they want.
Man, that's a tough one because for me, the first 3, they're all up there. WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, and Loki. To me, those are the 3 top ones for me. If I had to rank them though,
pick one, pick the best one. Don't rank them, pick the best one.
If I'm gonna rank them, I'm gonna go, man, Okay, I'm gonna rank them, but there's not too much of a variation. So Loki is
Just
first.
give me
for
your best. Just give me your best.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Loki first.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Falcon Winter Soldier second.
No, I need the worst now.
Oh,
Which
you
is
need
the
the worst.
best and the
Oh,
worst.
worst. Oh, She-Hulk. Okay, yeah, She-Hulk.
All right, let me get it up there.
No thought whatsoever.
No, that was easy.
She-Hulk.
All right. I'll go first. Now I'll go next, I guess. So I'm gonna go also with Loki, but it was tough with the ones that I liked.
Yep.
It was tough. Now on this one, this was tough for me too. But it's not She-Hulk, I don't think.
Wow. I am interested now.
Okay. I was going to say What If.
Really?
But it's a cartoon thing, So I'm actually going to say Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Wow.
And I'll tell you why. Okay. Let me just get it in here.
Judge, may I approach the bench?
She-Hulk, well, I could have easily put What If in there because I thought it was very uneven. Like Playboy Thor was like stupid, but some of the stuff was good. Falcon and Winter Soldier was like it was a movie, had some good action scenes, but they just cut it up. And a lot of the kind of like buddy thing between them, I think it got old as I got towards the end of it. I don't know. To me, it just kind of was not something that I really cared for so much. Maybe because I kind of knew what was going to happen or something. I kind of knew what was going to happen as I went along. I knew it was going to happen, with the characters. I guess the post-credit scene was the best part of it. Well, not the best part, but that was interesting, for bringing in new characters and so forth. But I kind of knew what was going to happen down the road. It was just a matter of how, and I kind of guessed how it was going to happen. My wife used to tell me all the time, used to explain to her, this is what's going to happen now. So I had to learn to shut up at movies. But this to me just was predictable, It had some good scenes. I liked the action scenes. I thought they were really good, the action scenes that they had. But I don't know. To me, it just kind of didn't live up to what I expected. Maybe that's the problem that I had with it. Some others, some of the other ones that are there, like She-Hulk also could have been better. I liked WandaVision a lot. I liked Hawkeye for what it was, and it really wasn't much. Just a story. It was a nice story, and I think it worked out nice. And who doesn't like to see Rockefeller Center at Christmas time? You know what I mean? And I really loved Moon Knight. I really liked Moon Knight. I almost thought about Moon Knight being number one, to be honest with you. But it had some failures as well. And what I'll say just generally is that I think that Phase 4, with some limited exceptions, Phase 4 of the MCU was terrible. It didn't live up to Phase 1 or 2 or 3 at all. And I don't know what's going to happen as we go into Phase 5. They have some pretty good titles coming up for movies, and hopefully they'll be able to get it back. But this group of stuff, I think a lot of it could have been better thought out. And that's my feeling for it. So, yeah, I could have picked some other things. I just picked Falcon and Winter Soldier because I had such high expectations for it. And as I went to each episode, I just didn't feel it as much as I did in the beginning episodes. Madam Blaster?
Yeah.
You're up.
Okay, I feel like I'm the student who didn't do their homework.
So darts.
So I really like the actor. Yes, Matt Woods. Let me just drink directly out of my vessel here. I really like the actor who did Loki, right?
Yeah.
Are you picking
Is
Loki?
it the same actor who was in the movie? Okay, I love him. He's awesome. So I'm gonna
Right.
pick Loki.
Okay.
And then because I watched She-Hulk and I loathed it so much, every episode I had to watch. I gotta go with She-Hulk.
Okay.
I see you,
Well, I
madam.
apologize. I have 4 children too.
I see you, madam.
All right, Master.
I don't know if it's because I've been in the military forever, but I'm not as tough on all these products or shows. This is harder than I thought. My answer for the best is Loki. I hate to say it. I agree with Donald that the first 3 were great. And I'm a big what if person. I wish what if would have been not a cartoon, and I felt like you could bring back some of you could have done a lot if it was live.
Yeah.
And I did like what if a lot.
Mhm.
Oh man, the worst is
Say it, She-Hulk. We know. Come on.
no.
No, 'cause he
You
likes
like
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
He likes
I'm
it.
gonna say Hawkeye.
I know. I
I'm
thought we
gonna
might have
say
changed his
Hawkeye.
mind.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye? Okay.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye was a different type of show. You know?
It
But
was okay.
It was okay.
It was
Yeah.
okay.
And now, the one, the only, from Matt Woods Comics. Yes, you've got it, fans. Matt
Said it.
Woods.
The mighty Matt Woods.
You guys are awesome. Now, the problem with the Phase 4, okay? How do you ever live up to Phase 1, 2, and 3? I mean, those were
You can't.
amazing, and they got better as they went on. There was
Yes.
just great storytelling. Everything was cohesive. Everything every movie that came out related to the one before it and the 3, 4 of them following. It was honestly, in cinematic history, and I'm not a movie buff by any stretch, but I live and I watch movies. It has to be one of the greatest stories ever told because they're not individual movies. They're all connected.
Right.
Phase 4, the problem with Phase 4 is there's no cohesion. The connection is so weak. You don't know what's going on with show to show. Or, not episode per episode, but show per show. So I'm going to hold off on my best, on my favorite of these 8 shows. But I'm going to have to take Miss Marvel out of the running for worst show. I watched the first episode. No, I didn't even watch the first episode. I watched about maybe 2/3 of the first episode. And I got bored and I clicked off of it. I have never clicked back on. I've never watched it again. Dawn, you tell me it gets better as it goes on. Is that correct?
Yes. For me, Miss Marvel went into a lot of what's going on. It went into a part of the history, especially for our Middle Eastern folks and Indian folks, that I wasn't necessarily familiar with, and a little bit of I was good to see some Muslim culture, which was good. But as far as just the story did get better as the show went on.
That's good to hear. I like Kamala Khan. I like Miss Marvel in the comic books. I feel she's so well written. I want to like that. I want to go back and watch it, so I'm going to take that out of running for worst show just because. I mean, it may be the best show. I just haven't seen it. So
remember, Matt, my daughter did the same thing you did. She walked out halfway through.
It was just boring. So I'm like, click. Anyhow, so we have
spoiled
She-Hulk.
by good television.
What's that?
These kids are spoiled by good television.
Is that what it is?
Exactly. The first 10 years. They have the first 10 years, like you said.
That's great. Yeah.
It was an amazing run. She-Hulk. Listen, I was not impressed with the writing of She-Hulk. I feel like the writers were very talented writers. I don't think that they were bad writers. I think they were bad She-Hulk writers. I don't think that they did a good job with that series. But there were parts of that show, like I said, my wife and I could enjoy it, whatever. I hated what they did with Daredevil. I didn't like that at all. He was such a BA character in the Netflix series, and then they bring the same actor, the same character. It wasn't. It was a disaster. The ending, didn't even like the ending a little bit, but there were elements of the show that I really liked. The What If, it's a cartoon. I don't dislike the What If. There were some of the episodes I really didn't care for. I'll be honest with you.
Matt, did you pick anything yet? Did you pick a best or a worst?
I haven't picked anything, Joe. Listen, Joe, you invited me on this show. You're going to get what you get, and you're going to like it.
Get him, Joe. Get him, Joe. 7 minutes, Matt. 7 minutes.
So, WandaVision. WandaVision was a cool show, but a lot of people hated the first 2 episodes. I actually dug the storytelling aspect of it.
Loved
and
it.
Me too.
just every episode got better and better. I loved it. Okay. Still not my favorite. So I'm gonna go back to this one. Hawkeye was all right. Hawkeye was an average show. It was not my favorite. It was not my least favorite. It was a good story. The one show that I just absolutely, I felt like I was watching the episodes just to get through it, and I couldn't wait for them to end, was The Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Wow.
There was great action great action in it.
Right.
But the storytelling was, one, it was predictable, but I felt like they were not doing good character development of the nemesis. I just felt they were these blank, generic bad guys, and we got to go beat them up, and the bad guys are just attacking for no darn reason whatsoever. I just didn't get it. I didn't like it. So my least favorite is Falcon and the Winter Soldier, even though I love the comic books. I love the Captain America. I love it when Falcon took over for Captain America. Captain America number 25. One of my favorite issues in my entire collection. But I really did not like the show. Now, the one show that in Phase 4 that I really don't have an issue with, they put a lot of money into special effects, is Loki. Loki was just such a cool show. The time variance, the whole shebang, it was just an amazing thing. Kang was an amazing character. I can't wait to see what comes out of Kang in the future. And I'm all in on Loki. So Loki is by far my best, my favorite of Phase 4. But if I could take Phase 4, if I read the scripts, I would ball it all up and I'd throw it right back at the writers and say, hey, do it again. And you guys need to talk to each other and make sure that these shows interact and that they jive. Because right now, there's no cohesion. And I don't think that was on purpose. I think this is just, they wanted to try something new, but it was a bad new. It didn't work.
You know, without Iron Man and Captain America, and there's nobody stepping up to take their place. Look at DC. DC brought back Cavill, bringing back Superman. They have their Batman, even Wonder Woman, but they're building up their big 2, and Marvel killed off their big 2. That's the problem they have right now. Who's going to step up? It's not Thor. It's not going to be Thor. You know. It's not going to be Ant-Man. You know? I mean, so that's the problem. And so they're trying to use this, I think, to build up something or other. I'm not sure what it's going to be. Hopefully the movies will be better than these shows were, you know, when the movies come out. But we'll have to wait and see. So we've got this actually. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's it looks like we need a tiebreaker from the chat between She-Hulk and the Falcon and Winter Soldier. If the chat wants to post the worst, we can let them decide.
Okay.
Is that cool?
It is the tie. So I was going to say that we needed to try to come up with something, but if the chat had to pick between She-Hulk and Falcon and Winter Soldier for the worst between the two, why don't you put your stuff in this? We got like the 2 She-Hulks.
Yeah, 2 She-Hulks.
We'll give you a minute.
Oh, I love She-Hulk.
I got a Falcon.
I
got a Falcon.
Don't vote for She-Hulk.
3 She-Hulks.
2
2 Falcons.
Matt, I saw you looking over. You wanted to
Three
grab
Falcons.
Captain America comic
It's
book.
3 to
I saw you
3.
looking.
3 to
I
3.
do.
Let's go.
I know exactly what drawer it's
Loki
in.
doesn't count. Loki won already, Mark.
I'll be back.
70s Wonder Woman? I don't think so. Flag Smashers, yeah.
So, okay. So
Yeah, that was pretty stupid. So 4 Falcons so far and 3 She-Hulks.
mhm.
Anybody else want to vote? We got 18 people here. I will give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. It's going to be Falcons. You made Master Blaster happy.
Yeah.
All right, so that was kind of a fun thing. I'm actually surprised that everybody picked Loki, but I thought it was so good because it was complicated.
Yep.
But the storyline went so well,
Mhm.
and it got me wanting to see the next one.
Yep.
You know, I really wanted to see the next one. WandaVision was kind of that way with me. I wanted to see the next one. Moon Knight as well, but Loki was far and away like the one where I couldn't wait to see the next one. Really.
Moon Knight for me kind of trailed off at the end. It
A little
was
bit.
good. Yeah, it trailed off to me at the end, and to me they wasted a perfect opportunity to introduce the Punisher in that series.
Yeah.
They should have just at least teased him, because Moon Knight and Punisher have a bit of a relation with one another. So they should have at least teased him, but that was just me.
That's
Okay.
a good point. They did. They could have done a really good job of that.
Yeah.
You got my mind thinking about that now, Dawn. I'm like, wait a second. They should have brought in Punisher.
They should have.
That would have been
And
good.
I feel the same way with Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange, which I thought was probably one of the better of Phase 4.
Yeah.
But where was Vision? Where was he? That was again another wasted opportunity to at least put the White Vision in there somewhere, and have him.
Don, I was waiting for him to show up.
Right, me too. I was
Yeah.
like, what happened? Where is he? Is he in the ether? What? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's out there. Nothing connected. I mean, the connections were so loose, not developed. The Phase 4, it's a disaster. I'm sure they made money off of it because of what happened in Phase 1, 2, and 3. But it really is a writing disaster.
Yep.
And it might hurt their bottom lines going forward, because a lot of people, all right, we can deal with one okay movie. We can deal with one okay series, but it's one not great movie, one great series after another. People are getting fatigued with it.
And all they have to do now is wait a month and a half for it to be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
All right, so let's give away this wonderful variant mug.
Variant mug.
Comic book crowd.
Woo! Matt Woods.
Very.
Myself, yes.
Okay. So let me bring it up.
Donald, you can enter.
Yes, Don, please do.
Enter.
okay.
Don. Yeah.
No, I can't enter. That's not fair.
No, it is fair. It is
We
fair.
have one. You don't. That's as fair as can be.
What is it? Hashtag Loki.
Oh.
So it's Loki. So I'm going to start collecting the comments. All right, go ahead.
It's exciting.
So with respect, this is kind of interesting. I'm sharing the screen. Do you guys just see the Loki screen?
Yeah. No, we see ourselves in the Loki screen.
Oh, I don't see you. It's strange.
We see
Why
you,
did
Joe.
why did that happen? Okay, so but I'm talking to the
Flame
camera.
Brain
So you guys
Comics
can
has
see
a
me.
perfect comment. We need more Werewolf by Night. That's one of the highlights of Phase 4.
I have to see
okay.
that. I still haven't seen that.
Oh, it is great. And
All right.
it made one of my comic books a lot more popular. Uh-oh.
There we go. Now I'm back.
Lot of
Figured it out.
votes.
I figured it out. So what do we have here? We have 11 entries. We have 16 people that survived. We'll give them a couple more minutes here. It's so beautiful, and it says Anachronic Comics on it.
It's a nice cup, Joe.
I know.
It is a,
It's got the Anachronic
Wait,
blue.
what's that?
it is a completely dope mug. It was what an amazing thing.
Yep.
I'm glad you liked it. The mug with the mugs.
Every time I get a box, Joe, from you, I'm waiting for one of those baby blue T-shirts.
The more you say it, the more you're not going to get it.
Well,
I'm
I
a
am
large.
lucky enough to have my one-of-a-kind Anachronic button.
So before we pick, because it looks like we're going to be stuck at 11, some people don't want it, I guess. Before we pick this out, let me just remind people that next month, after I come back from my cruise, we're going to have the mystery box for charity event. And I've put together 15 mystery boxes. Each one is going to have 12 comic books in it. Last year we had 7, 12 comic books, of which 3 are guaranteed to be golden, silver, or Bronze Age comic books. And also I've got a signed slab, which I won't reveal right now. And everybody that buys one of the boxes automatically gets a chance to win the slab. But everyone can also buy chances, $10 a chance to win the slab. All right. So if you buy a box, you already have a chance, but you could buy more. If you get closed out, last year they sold out pretty quickly. I think I had 10 of them last year. That's why I put 15 this year. They sold it pretty quickly. You can still buy, even if you have a chance, you can buy more. If you don't get the box, you can buy chances, buy as many as you want, $10 a piece. All of the profits are going to go to a particular charity. Last year we did St. Jude's Hospital for Children with Cancer. This year I've picked a different one, which I think is pretty good. So I'm hoping to that people will see that as well. So be on the lookout, probably around just before Thanksgiving, I think. And again, if we sell them all by my deadline date, I'm going to throw in $500.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Okay, so let's see. We've got 13, it looks like right now. So let's let me hit the draw button. I've got to go back to it now.
Yeah,
And
I just
let's see.
threw my hat in my thing in the
I'm
hat.
glad you did. Let's see who wins it. Doug Bratton.
Just save on the shipping. Bring it to GarageCon.
I won't be there.
Yeah, he's gonna be looking at pyramids.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Europe, Asia, and Africa.
Oh, okay.
So I won't be there this year.
Joe is going to Wakanda.
Right, yeah, right? That would be kind of cool. So congrats,
great.
Doug. Congratulations.
That's awesome. Congrats, Doug.
All right, so Doug, I have your address, I think, so I'll put it in the mail to you before I leave next week. I'll be in the mail to you. Anyway, so any last words on Marvel, She-Hulk? Anything else?
I can't wait to watch Loki.
Loki Part 2 is going to be great. It's going to
She's
be great.
talking
If it's not,
about
I'm
the
gonna be really-
original, Joe. She's talking about the original, which I'm happy to rewatch with her. So I'm kind of excited because
It is good to rewatch it. You should watch Loki. It's very good.
It is a good
You'll love
show.
All right, so let me thank everybody in the chat. Yeah, I'm doing my Carmen Sandiego thing. Yeah.
You know
I'm
what,
doing
Joe?
it with my wife, though,
Let me
so.
say this, Joe. I
Yeah.
think that for the rest of the phase 4 that's going on, I think I am excited about Wakanda Forever.
Right.
November 11th. I'm excited about that. I think that will probably be a turning point, as well as Quantumania.
Yes.
Both of those, I think, will kind of right the ship for Marvel.
Hopefully.
So I think that's. I don't know what to expect, especially with Wakanda Forever, due to the passing of Chadwick Boseman. But I think from what I've seen, it's solid, and I am hoping that plus Quantumania, which also looks awesome, will right the ship to where we all can agree that we like.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that as well, because the first, the rung up to Endgame was just so fantastic, with some exceptions.
Yeah,
A Thor
Yeah.
movie or two was not that good.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man
3.
Yeah.
I forget now whether it was 2 or 3, but one of them was not good. Yeah.
3.
But anyway,
Great.
so but for the most part, it was great, and the play up to it was fantastic. But now I don't know. Hopefully they haven't destroyed it and they can bring it back. Okay, so let me thank Don again. Don, thank you so much. Yeah, I know we saw that already.
I know. I just like
He's got to put a Conan in there somehow.
He's got to.
I got to talk about this though, Joe. I haven't talked about whenever we went to Rhode Island yet today. So Werewolf by Night made me think about this. Okay.
Yeah.
One of my favorite comic books in the collection was one that Joe actually got to see. Okay. Guys in the chat, and guys and ladies, and I met Joe last September 21. He messaged me like, "Hey Matt, you got to come to Providence, Rhode Island." And it was a lot more detailed than that. But there was a signing of Roy Thomas, who is one of Joe's favorite writers, one of mine. But Werewolf by Night, there's a first appearance in it, and that's Man Thing. I had no idea that book that I took up to meet Joe was going to be a big hit in the MCU. But I just got this book back. What, was that last week, Joe?
About a week and a half ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I got this book back in the mail. I did not expect to get this back for honestly until 2024, but I want to blame, and I'm not going to say thank. I want to blame two people in this panel for I have a disease. Joe for making me go to Providence, Rhode Island, which I had a really awesome, wonderful time. But Steve, what is your problem, Steve? You got me addicted to the Yellow Label, okay? You are a pusher and you are a dealer, and I'm going downhill, man.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. You're not complaining, are you?
No, not at all. You know, Joe, I'm going to congratulate you. You got 1 year into this show, okay? And you somehow are the ringleader. Got great people. Dawn, thank you for being a great guest. Dawn, you've been a wonderful friend for quite a few years now. We've been talking on Instagram, and we actually got to meet in person last year, and that was a fabulous experience.
Yeah,
you know,
got a photo with you, Don.
Yep, wonderful,
Yeah,
wonderful.
This community is absolutely amazing. Everyone in the chat, you know, thanks for giving us 1 year of your time, of your attention. You know, we appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate everyone in this panel. Even our good friends, Alan and Wayne, who are not here today, but they are definitely here in spirit.
We miss you guys.
We do.
And Don, I want to echo the fact that we've been trying to get you on the show for a while, I think.
Yes.
We're really happy that you're on, and we hope you come back.
I thank you guys so much. You guys are great people. I mean, I've had the pleasure of meeting you, Joe, and you, Matt. I have yet to meet the Blasters, but I hope to meet them in person soon. And I would just thank you so much for having me. And it's been great. Congratulations on 1 year. You have done absolutely fantastic work. You have deepened my appreciation for DC even more. So, Joe, you are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're so nice. You're so nice to say that. Well, I appreciate you all. And thanks again to everybody that's been with us for the year. We got some regulars here that are really, really great that show up every show.
Sure.
So we're thankful for them. We're thankful for new people that show up. And we're thankful for everybody that voted for us on the Comic Book Community Awards. That's fantastic. Congratulations to Doug Bratton, who wins. Doug, if I send you this, maybe you could send me another, some isolation number 2 stuff. No, I'm just joking.
Ooh, look at that.
But anyway.
Joe's making drug deals right on the camera.
Yeah, wait a minute. I saw something from Doug. I always tell Tina that she's my favorite, but Don is right up there. Fantastic. All right.
Latino's the best.
All right, guys in the chat, thank you so much. Thank you to my compatriots here on the comic book crowd. Alan and Wayne, hope to see you next month or soon thereafter as we can get you back on. Appreciate it. Don, again, we want you to come back. Maybe when the Wakanda movie comes out, maybe we'll decide to do that. Maybe you can come and we can talk about that and stretch it out a little bit, or even anytime you have a topic you think you want us to talk about, just drop us a note and we'll probably say no, but
Okay.
be worthwhile. No, just joking. But you can, we want to have you back. So that's for sure. Okay.
Will do.
So thanks again. All right, everybody. Thanks again. 1 year in the making. Hopefully we'll make it to year number 2, anniversary number 2. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Take care now.